As London Bridge fell down on Thursday, it was also a week to remember within the northwest and the southwest region of Cameroon. London Bridge fell down on Thursday at a time when the peace-loving people of northwest and southwest region were counting their losses as far as the ongoing armed conflict is concerned, which has been rocking the two regions since 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022. We are counting 7 years. The mothers, the fathers, the women, the children, Christian, pagan, Muslim, are all crying and asking the one simple question: when will this end? When will their crying stop? On Tuesday, that was on the 6th of September, 2022, it was a black day within the southwest region, as over 7 people were killed as far as the armed conflict is concerned, with several cars set ablaze and others were badly injured. Just as the news of killings were ongoing in the southwest region, in the northwest region, a replica of what happened within the southwest region also occurred in Fundong, but this time no life was lost. But it resulted to the interrogation and the kidnapping of school children by alleged separatist fighters. They were interrogated as to why they were disobeying the orders of no going to school or school boycott within Fundong. As discussion went on heatedly with elites from the region and those within the division, begging and pleading on behalf of the students and pupils who were kidnapped by alleged separatist fighters, they were later released after hours in captivities. And this time around, the kidnappers turned to their elite and the chiefs were also kidnapped, as far as under the idea that they were aiding and abetting school resumption within the area. In all of this call, one question lingers in the minds of those in the northwest and southwest region who want their children to have the best of education, is that if for 7 years we have been unable to go to school, our kids have been unable to go to school, should we say that if this crisis continues for 20 years, we shall not have medical doctors, teachers, lawyers, as well as bankers and other important services for those who take care of our children? Are we going to have a 20-year of dead air where we will hire professionals and let our children unemployed? This is a question that has been in their mind so far. And also, to those of us who watched the news of London Bridge falling down, it was a moment of remembrance within the African continent, as in Kenya, 10 days of mourning, and also in some African countries, days of mourning were declared in Brazil in order to show respect for the Queen Elizabeth, who died on Thursday. But the question started lingering in the minds of nationalists and Pan-Africanists is, what of the reparation that are supposed to be paid to Africans following the brutality of the British government taking cognizance of the apartheid regime, as well as in Kenya, the Maho where concentration camps were built. That is why in Kenya there is a day which is being celebrated as the Jamhuri Day. This day is a day where the Kenyans remember the concentration camps that were built under Queen Elizabeth at the time when she was queen. And also in some other parts of Africa, like in Nigeria, where Nigerians were maltreated under the reign of the Queen. Africans are asking one question: when will reparation come from? As the Ghanaian president also hinted about the issue of Africans having the right to venge their anger as far as the Queen demise is concerned. However, we are told to look at the future and not the past. But one thing must be clear, is that when you fail to look at history and recognize history, you risk repeating the errors of the past. This is House of Commons with me, Tah Mah Jarvis. Welcome back from that transition. If you are just joining us, you're watching House of Commons with me, Tah Mah Jarvis. Here in the studio, we have gentlemen here who are here to give you in-depth analysis as to what is occurring within the Northwest and Southwest region. Also, we witness how the governor of the Northwest region, Adolphe Lele Lafrique, gave flags, green, red, yellow, to some school children, and pictures went out with some parents expressing mixed feeling and putting the question that is the government doubting the patriotism of the peace-loving children in the Northwest and Southwest region? Is the government doubting their patriotism by giving them flags of which they, before sitting in that classroom, sang the anthem, O Cameroon, cradle of our fathers, the holy shall reign in our midst and now repose, thy tears and blood and sweat the solid waters on the hills and valleys, once thy tillage rose, the fatherland, thy worth the tongue and tell. How can we ever pay thy due? Thy welfare we will win in toil and love and peace. We will be to your name ever true. Land of promise, land of glory, and dependent men forevermore. Here in the studio we have Ndiwum Emmanuel, who is the co-founder of NEA, a Pan-African movement aimed at revandicating and also fighting for nationalism and restoring the dignity of Africans. Ndiwum Emmanuel, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Tah Mah Jarvis. Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to once more be here. I reaffirm my fidelity, my loyalty, and everything that has to do with House of Commons. And that's why I opted to answer present this afternoon, especially when it has to do with burning issues affecting the very life of our country, our dear motherland. One needs to scrape off time to always come and speak to those who have refused to listen. For in speaking continuously, one day they shall be forced to listen.
Thank you very much, Ndiwum Emmanuel. We also have G. Lucas, who is joining us live in Boya. G. Lucas, thanks for joining us.
Good afternoon, Tah Mah Jarvis. Good afternoon, everyone in the studio. It is a pleasure to be on House of Commons this Sunday afternoon, the 11th of September 2022, which is expected to be the first weekend for school resumption since school resumed on the 5th. It is rather unfortunate that the sad reality is what we are living in the Northwest and in the Southwest regions of Cameroon because of the separatists on the ground and because of the too much of politics into our education other than solving the educational problems that we have. And a whole lot of persons or so many people take delight in subjecting our children and their future to things which we believe it's going to haunt us someday. Thank you very much.
I'll begin with you before introducing these other members of the panel. First, your reaction to the Queen demise. As far as we see Africans paying allegiance to the Queen, so much respect, but some are also questioning the fact that there is need for reparation, especially those within the southern parts of Cameroon and northern Nigeria and Nigeria, Kenya, the Kikiyus, as well as Ghanaians, and also moving to South Africa where EFF of Julius Malema also questioned and called for reparation.
Yes, I will not refuse. I do support the call for reparation by Julius Malema in toto, in the sense that I expected Queen Elizabeth to have maybe make some statements and engage the reparation process with regards to the countries which the forcefully annexed, which the forcefully colonized, which the forcefully destroyed for their own growth, for their own personal lives. It wasn't for the growth of these people of this area. It is unfortunate that Queen Elizabeth dies and King Charles Philip Otto George is coming in, and I hope that he too pick up this and ensure that things are put in place. We are talking about a problem that started in 2016 in Cameroon, which had been there in 1960 when the former British Southern Cameroon, take note, there is a name. It has a prefix sometimes being used and a suffix sometimes being used. Either you use it as Cameroon that was under the British, or you use it as former British whatsoever. So this will tell you already that the British, they planted a seed in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon, which today children are not able to go to school, hands are being chopped off, body parts are being chopped off and put in bags because some people identify it as a culture and they are paying no attention to it. And the worst of it is that we have not heard of any reparation being paid because of the things they did. We are not hearing of anything which the British are doing to ensure that the things that they did about 100 years ago and more, that it will serve for our good. I think Julius Malema is right. And like I always say, that Pan-Africanism is not about isolationism. Pan-Africanism, in summary, we would have said, put Africa first and Africa's interests first, and also consider other humans. That is what we are doing in Africa, but sadly, that is not what they are doing. My heart felt condolence to the bereaved family in Britain. However, we want to re-echo the fact that we expect that they should start talking about reparation. It was in 2015 when Francois Hollande made mention of the things which the French did to La République de Cameroon, or to the East Cameroonians prior to the independence, which we did not hear them talk about how they are going to pay reparation. We need this reparation. They have to pay. They destroyed our continent. They destroyed us. Today, people in the northwest and southwest regions are killing themselves because of some other person's culture. And we are talking about the Anglo-Saxon culture. And this culture is coming from where? It's coming from Great Britain. And we have not heard them say anything with regards to that, how they are going to handle the issue. Every time we hear some of their MPs, they'll make statements as if they want to satisfy the calls that are coming in for them to look into the issue, and they are doing nothing. I just want to say that this is time for us to sit and rethink. I want to appreciate the people of Kenya who have decided to pick up democracy and shun violence. I want to appreciate the people of East Africa who have decided to come up with a common language, which I think is serving them. And I want to believe that if we adopt this also, it would have solved this problem. It is good to be multilingual. It is not good to be multilingual tied to some colonial heritage, which the people themselves do not even recognize what is happening on the ground. Thank you.
Asante sana, which is said in Swahili. Thank you very much. The language which has been developed in the East African community, it is Swahili. Some say Kiswahili. Where you want to say thank you, say asante sana, habari kwa. Also here in the studio we have Innocent. Innocent, you're welcome to the program and thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Mr. Jarvis, and thanks for inviting me once more. It's really disheartening hearing what is happening in the Southwest and other regions. I'm asking when will this end? When those that we call our brothers, our children, our friends, our fathers are killing us every day, every time. Because our children are struggling to do things that will better their lives. Because our children have decided to go to school. Because anybody, any country, because they are fighting for a country. So will this country be led by illiterates? Because no country can develop without intelligent people, without those that have gone to school. The children are struggling to go to school. They have been killing them, they have been kidnapping. When I hear like this, I really feel sad. Because I have too many people who are in the Southwest and Northwest, my friends who are teachers over there, and colleagues who are teachers over there. So it's really a sad situation. Okay.
Also here in the studio we have Nick Anu. Nick Anu, it's a privilege to have you and thanks for joining us. Alele.
Tah Mah Jarvis, thanks for having me once more in this studio, and good morning to fellow Cameroonians listening to us all over the world. And my heart is grief with the happenings on ground, and innocence was being gained every day, and we look forward, see no hope of any solution coming forth. And sometimes we just hope and believe on divine intervention, that maybe God can look from his throne and have mercy on us and then bring a kind of divine turnaround for us to have peace. Thank you.
Faith cometh by hearing and by doing, not by praying.
Obviously.
So when you're talking about divine intervention, it's like we should just be praying and nothing will happen. Something will happen, whereas we are not taking action.
Not that we should be praying. If all the actions we have taken are yielding no fruit and they are just leading to dead ends, what else do you expect? What else do you do?
Okay, Ndiwum Emmanuel. We are faced with back to school in the northwest and southwest region under doubtful security circumstances. On Tuesday, that was on the 6th of September 2022, 7 people were killed in the southwest region. A bus was attacked along Kumba Boya Road, and some people managed to escape, and they went into the bushes. They were killed into the bushes, and some were shot on their legs by suspected armed fighters. And also, a Clement driver was also shot around my 16 area. Cars were burnt down. You are a Pan-Africanist from NEA. What can you make of this situation where we are killing our own and expecting Yaoundé to bow down?
Permit me 1 minute to greet my very good friend Nji Lucas. Thank the people of Boya, especially Moliko, for the warm welcome they reserved for us in last Sunday. It was very hilarious. I was equally happy. I'm answering because it touches with education. I was equally happy because I saw, I felt, I touched with my very self the activities of a rehabilitate, which is recover and rehabilitate for better tomorrow. That Nji Lucas happened to be the CEO. So the memories of our reception last Sunday was a great one, and I will remain great. Now back to your question. New Era Youth for Africa has at top of its agenda to make sure that children who have lost their parents in all the war-torn zones in Africa have a new touch. That said, it means New Era Youth for Africa stands for education without any barrier. And for New Era Youth for Africa to stand for education means it's a Herculean task that we need to go through. We will not be selective to say that we can speak only with the governments or we can speak only with the warring factions or the opposing factions. Be it in Sudan, be it in Zimbabwe, be it in South Africa. I'm quoting where I think we are already very sure that we'll be getting there. We will be holding the two parties to task. Now, that said, we need to underline that the right to education is a fundamental right. But then the right to live is paramount. You only get educated if you are alive or if you can live. Now, NEA can only sensitize and try to broker a deal between the two fighting factions. But we cannot force parents to send their children to go and die. It boils down to you, the honor of your child. If you can guarantee the going to school of your child and coming home, which is a fundamental right, and at the same time guarantee the right to living, which is paramount, then good and fine.
But now, should we not, as you have painted it good rightly, should we not leave it that way, that parents should, if they can guarantee the safety of their children in and out of school, it's fine, as well as guarantee their safety. But should one faction be forcing others to keep their kids at home, that there is a war and that they are not secure if they go to school?
If you had allowed me to learn, you would not have bothered yourself consuming that energy to ask me that question. What I'm saying here is this, Tah Mah Jarvis. No one has the right to ask a child to stay at home. But our center of focus now is the right to live, which is paramount, and the right to education, which is fundamental. Now, we all have competent authorities that should make things happen. Should someone comfortably say people should not go to school, we now hold the competent authorities, which is the government. These rights to live and the rights to education are all rights that are inscribed in the national and the international laws. Now, the international law is backed by the competent authorities of every nation. Except we are saying that the competent authorities of these countries have gone on vacances once more. If they are on active service, this is the time for them to prove that they are on service by protecting our children, by protecting the right to live, and enforcing the right to education. However, we are told and we are made to understand that everything has been under control in Norway and Southwest for 6 years. If everything is under control, then there is no reason whatsoever why the children should not be in school. And the right to take away the life of another person is also and equally prohibited. It shouldn't be done. But we are caught in a situation where the life of people are being wasted from both sides. At times we say, I watched a documentary yesterday be done by you. I don't know if it's an old documentary or it's a new documentary, where somebody confirmed in that documentary that the military shot down people. And
yeah, that was in Kwakwa?
Yes. And at the time they were running to the military, some people were shot. At the time they were running back, they still faced attack by the separatists. So we are caught between the devil and the deep blue sea. So in this case, I have always said the person I know as legitimate, even if we can doubt their legitimacy to a certain extent, and let me say, to a legal point of view, we know but the government. We don't know the separatists. I, for one, Ndiwum, I don't know. I don't know the separatists. I don't know their word. I don't know their weight. I don't know, I don't know in which book they are inscribed. But come to think of it, in Yemen, in Darfur,
Syria.
In Syria, children were going to school. The question I'm asking is, if we came up, or if some people thought that they were treated very badly, let them teach the people by teaching the people in good way. If you came up because you thought that your educational system was marginalized, teach the people the best way of education through morals. Convince me to buy your ideology. Don't kill me to buy your ideology. For if you kill me to buy your ideology, who then will live to share and live that ideology
because
that you want to pass across?
Let me just cue you briefly, because you see this, like the Kuma incident, an eyewitness in the bus said, because my cousin was shot in Ekona, Ruda. Our house is in Ekona, opposite the cooperative, the credit union, just beside the Holy Trinity Hospital. She was shot, and she's not the only first family member of mine who has been shot. Fortunately, she survived. I've had 2 brothers killed and the wife killed. So when we see that the eyewitness along that road said the bus was attacked, the alleged separatists had blocked the road, so they were turning back. So upon turning back, they met another group, and so they opened fire on the bus. Some of them who were in the bus wanted to escape, enter the bushes. They were followed and they were shot on their legs. How do you understand this kind of situation?
Something which is condemnable, and it should be condemned with the last energy in us. You don't protect people by killing them. I am saying it without water in my mouth.
Would I even know who are in the bus?
And I weigh my words. It is an act of barbarism, an act that no human being should endorse. I, Ndiwum Emmanuel, condemns it to the last energy and the last drop of my blood. Like I said, if you want me to buy your ideology, negotiate it with me. Convince me. Don't kill me. When I will be in my grave, I will not be able to share that ideology. You cannot hold people accountable for neglecting you or marginalizing you. And at the same time, because that's an act of marginalization, yes, you marginalize those people who do not adhere to you. And first of all, what are they adhering to? Does it mean it has come to a point where we don't need to travel? How far are you sure that there were not patients in that car who were heading for treatment in some hospitals somewhere? In as much as I am not refusing you to fight your separation fight, it is equally a right for you to fight for your separation. It is equally a right for you to fight for your independence. But don't cross on the independence of some individuals. They equally have their own independence. And to think that your ideology must be passed through by the bullet, it will never work. That is where you lose it. And that is where the population is against you. And for you to win, you win with the people. When the people is against you, you become the loser.
How do you really understand this situation, Nick Anu, where people are, a bus is attacked, another car is set ablaze, and this time you don't even know who were in the bus. You open fire on them, and those who manage to escape, you fire them on their legs, and some were also killed. That's why the figure moved up to 7 within that same locality. But these are alleged protectors now becoming the terminators.
It is actually an unfortunate situation that no amount of explanation can justify the killing of those people. No amount of justification would convince anybody that these people were supposed to be shot at. Because even if you're fighting war, you cannot be shooting at unarmed civilians who you are claiming to protect. It doesn't make sense in any way. We don't know who gave them orders. From what we learned, was they said they were enforcing a lockdown, they declared. We don't know, even within the ranks of the separatist so-called leaders, we don't look at them to be leaders because it is just a bunch of confusion, a bunch of confused people who don't really know what they want. This group will come up and say there's lockdown. Another one will come and say there is no lockdown. At the end of the day, innocent people are caught in between and they are killed, and it is very regrettable. All of this is a terrorist attack. It is not, it's something that's premeditated murder. You cannot say it is, it cannot be collateral damage. That maybe there were some kind of exchange between the military and them, and then they were caught in between. Yeah, this one is deliberate murder, which should be condemned with all amount of energy.
But these are the same people who talked about Geneva Convention, the respect of Geneva Convention, respect of international norms, and we experience this kind of situation. Where do we strike the balance?
That's what I'm saying. It is an unfortunate situation. We are really unfortunate because we are really caught in between, and there's a kind of no way, both ways, no way to go. That's why in my introduction I talk of kind of divine intervention, because no matter the cry we have been crying, things seems to be worsening every day.
It's a sad situation because really, my cousin was shot in Ikona. I don't know if before, let me get to Lucas, welcome to you, so that the technical team can arrange a shot in your direction. Lucas, are you there with us? Yeah, your reaction to what happened in along the Kumba Road, Buya Kumba Road.
Let me get your question, please.
Your reaction to what happened in Buya Kumba Road, 7 killed, people attacked on the 6th of September in unarmed civilians by their so-called alleged protectors.
Firstly, as a human rights defender, I want to openly condemn the attack that took place on the Kumba Boya axis. It is not called for no reason. These were unarmed civilians. These are civilians with no crime committed. They are equally trapped in the whole crisis. And I also want to say that there is what we call today in the Southwest region, especially within areas, if you begin from the Mai 14, right down to Mamfe, it is said to be on an economic lockdown. That is the violation of the people's right to economic activity. which is worth mentioning, and to call on those who are supporting such they should bear in mind that in due time they will be judged. The law will take its course.
We are struggling we're having some technical issues there. I'm sure it should be the connection, which is hampering the Southwest region.
Its own
I'm sure so we'll be getting back to G. Lucas. Sure he's struggling to have it difficult to connect with us. G. Lucas, are you there? It's like you have problem connecting with us.
Yes, I'm there. Yes, I was saying they should bear in mind that people's rights are being violated. The killings are not accepted. These were unarmed civilians, and for no reason should they be killed because of what they uphold, because of what they believe in. In times of war, in times of armed conflict, there are particular category of persons. Unarmed persons are supposed to be protected. The women and children are supposed to be protected. The elderly have to be protected. And there are places we should not touch. We should not touch schools. We should not touch hospitals. We should not touch mosques. All of these things, all of these places and these people, they are under attack by the armed groups on the ground. And some of them are also being victim of the excesses of the Cameroon state forces. And these are things that they will be judged. Their commanders will be brought to order. And all the leaders of the armed groups on the ground, they should bear in mind that they too will be brought to order in due time. It is worth mentioning, that we are talking about the protocol that was signed to protect people and their life, which no man has the right to take the life of the other. I understand that the protocol states that the state has the right to protect the people and their life, and to ensure that whatsoever would want to cause their death, it is the responsibility of the state, which in this case, I want to believe that we are talking about an armed conflict in Cameroon. We are talking about the fights which separatists have put up, because they think that a particular thing is not right. I want to say that as a human rights defender, we will not tell you not to fight for your right, because it is also the right to self-determination. However, as you will be fighting for your right to self-determination, you should bear in mind that another person's life also do matter. If you think your right to self-determination is a plight, then that person's life do matter. Like I mentioned earlier, we have the rights, the people's rights to economic activities which are being violated daily. We have the people's rights to education which are being violated daily. We have the rights to protection which they are not protecting. The state has a duty that I know, because according to the human rights protection, we have to protect these people. This is the point I have to make, because your topic basically is asking that if we kill ourselves thinking that Yaoundé is going to bow, how is that going to solve the problems? This is where the matter lies. Now, Yaoundé, of course, is not going to fall, because even with all the atrocities that are ongoing in Kharkiv, that are ongoing in the Donbass region in Ukraine, Kiev is still standing, and Volodymyr Zelensky is still speaking. It is the same thing we have in Cameroon. It is not in the killing of innocent people, unarmed people. If we condemn that there have been times when the Cameroon forces have killed unarmed civilians, we should also condemn that those who carried out the attack along the Kumba axis are persons who are supposed to be brought to book, because the civilians in that bus that were killed, they were unarmed. These were unarmed civilians. They were not fighters. They were not the military.
And that's the war crime.
Civilians who were out for their own activity. We will take precautions on certain things. However, we will also not accept things that are wrong.
Okay.
I understand that there have been a call by the separatists for people to stay off, for people to observe certain days, but I want to say that it is totally against the people's right. The people have right to the activity.
Okay. And that is a war crime, because attacking an unarmed civilian is a war crime and crimes against humanity. Innocent.
Pardon?
I'm saying that that's a war crime and a crime against humanity, attacking an unarmed civilian, according to the Geneva Convention, which the same people are
Yes,
asking that they should be respected.
Yes, according to the Geneva Convention, that is a crime against civilian, and it's a crime against humanity. And we are saying that the people that were killed in this were not the military, were not the campaign forces. So that should be respected. That should be taken into consideration.
Okay.
Like I said, in due time, we will understand exactly where this is heading to. But there is one thing that I want to assure, that you do not fight for a people by making the people your victim.
Thank you.
When you want to fight for a people, the people should be at the center of protection.
Thank you.
The people should not be your victim. And if the people becomes your victim, then you are not fighting for the people. You should think about who are you fighting for. If we are talking about the ongoing crisis today in the Northwest and Southwest, which I introduced by saying that it started as the issue of which is considered to be a colonial system.
We'll be coming back to you. Let's get back to Innocent Barozil, your reaction to what happened along the Kumba axis, as well as also the My-16, because the driver was shot, and all these it was an attempt to stop the effective resumption of schools within the Northwest and the Southwest region. After this, I will get to Ndiwum onto the issue within the flats and also the Fundong. Let's get your reaction on the first topic.
Yes, actually, I don't know. These guys, I don't know, what are they doing differently? They said marginalization. If you go now to the Southwest and Northwest, you ask many people, they will tell you that they should go back to 2015. And they should go take them back the way they were living in 2015, before this crisis. Because they have made lives unbearable for people. The same people that they say they are fighting for which country, I ask one, which country are they fighting for? Because many people have lost their businesses. Some of them are in this dwelling, like don't even have a house to stay. Some have abandoned their houses in the Northwest, Southwest. They are here living in miserable conditions. Some cannot even send their children to school. But even they were, because they are on the level of marginalization now, which they say they are freedom fighters. They are doing now to their own brothers, their own parents, is too much. It's even better, even if they were marginalizing people before 2016, when this crisis started, at least now, then that one was even better. Because since then, I did not see the government killed people. Although policemen were misbehaving, brutalizing people, but at least it was not up to this level. Because how will you be killing people anyhow? Look, it pains me.
They said they were black-legged, that they were flaunting the orders of those who had called for lockdown. Which
others? So even if you tell your wife that, or your child that, don't go outside and come back in the night, and your child come back in the night, the best way for you is to remove one of his ears, flog the child, discipline the child, and you leave the child to live. Because everybody has a right to life. I'm even doubting that, have these people actually sat and think and asked themselves, why is it that these Chris and Ndiwum who are in the US, Yabacho and all those people, how many of their brothers are in the field fighting? And have they also asked themselves that all these things that when they declare lockdown in America, they are enforcing it here. And the cost of that enforcement, some of them, they themselves are being killed. They kill others and they themselves are being killed. Have they ever asked themselves that even if they achieve the independence, who will roll? Will the illiterates roll? No. Those who in the US will come back and roll. And they will still be slaves under them. Some of them will be their bodyguard. They will be controlling them as they are controlling them now. So to me, these guys should come back to their senses. They themselves, they should go to school, like Clovis, one of the guys in at least he went to school, he has passed his O levels. He will go and have his ordinary level, his advanced level, and his life will be better. Some of these guys, they should go to school After school, they can continue to do what they want, but they said they should stop, because after this, they will still, even they give the independence, there will still be another fighting, because those that are educated are the ones that will rule.
Okay.
Nobody can elect, because they will not be able to talk now. They will not be able to talk. Nobody can elect anybody who is an illiterate. So they should know that the right to education is a fundamental right to every citizen, and they should allow these children, our children, their brothers and sisters, their friends, to study in peace.
Ndiwum Emmanuel, I want us to do a simple calculation. We have been 7 years in the Northwest and Southwest region without effective school resumption. The UNESCO puts it that we have over 855,000 primary school and secondary school children, as well as university, who are out of school, and that over 4,000 schools have been burnt down. If we add the statistics of the recent school, we're moving to 5,000. And now, from 7 years now, we have not had effective resumption, meaning that we have a 7-year of blank economy, which will amount to 14 years. If a child was in class 1, let's say if a child was in class 6, that child was supposed to be having class 6. Yeah, the child was supposed to be, I think, graduating from the university. Let's say the child is class 6. It's from 1, from 2, from 3, from 4, from 5. Lower seat and upper seat, the child was supposed to enter university this year. Now, assuming that that child was in lower seat, I mean, the child was supposed to have graduated and had a job. Now we are moving to 7 years, and there's a possibility that we'll move to another 7 years, 14 years. How do we strike now the balance in terms of the economy, in terms of the society, in terms of the judiciary, in terms of the health sector? If we say kids should not go to school, like you rightly put it, that it is the responsibility of the father to determine the security of the child as well as the child's right to live.
You know, the case of Southern Cameroon can be likened to a football match without a referee. And you know, just imagine a football match without a referee. Imagine the injuries. Imagine there will be no free kicks, or all free kicks will be wrong. There will be no penalties, or all penalties will be wrong. There will be no throw-ins. Now, why do I liken it to your question? You see, the injuries we have in the economic sector, we have in the political sector, because we have political refugees. That's something we should also underline. We have political refugees. Those elites, those unscrupulous elites who have migrated, who have become fugitives. In Yaoundé and Douala today.
Whose parliamentary seat are in their suitcases?
Yes, they are traveling now with their councils in their suitcase. They travel with their constituencies in their suitcase and everything. They hide in Yaoundé. They tell Yaoundé regime that everything is under control. You see, Tah Mah Jarvis, any country that is ruled, that is governed with lies, divide and rule, I mean, it's a perishable country. Cameroon at this point in time is perishable. Because the 7 years you are talking about, children have not been going to school. We have produced more bandits. We have produced more unwanted pregnancies. The rate of abortion has increased. Hunger, death has escalated. Everything evil. It means that we are fighting to carve out a country which is ruled and based on the pillars of evil. Now, you also discover that the government has a pass mark in their failure in this domain, because the government has comfortably allowed things to go out of hand.
When you say the government has a pass mark of failure, the Minister Paul Atanganji has always made it clear that Cameroon is a state of law. And also we saw the
Tah Mah Jarvis, listen, please. Please. When you are bringing this thing you are saying about Atanganji, let me remind you that as I talk to you now, in Boyo Division, I will even be meeting him in the days ahead. So don't worry yourself. When I meet him, we'll discuss one-on-one. That will not be a TV debate. I want to tell you that in Norwest, in Boyo, as we speak now, 5 chiefs
Yeah, I will come to that.
5 chiefs are in captivity.
No,
you are talking about state of law.
Yes.
In a state of law, a chief should be well respected and a chief should not be under captivity. That's still the responsibility of the state. So there's a difference between being in a state of law and the law taking its course. That's what I want to see. So before I give you back the microphone, your question was, have we been losing
7 years
in the 7 years? The answer structurally is yes, we have been losing. The government has been losing because they don't have total control over the people in Norwest and Southwest. They don't have total control over the economic activities in Norwest and Southwest. Like Lucas just said a while ago, they have declared economic lockdown from Boya to Manfi, and it is holding. Let's be honest to ourselves. Where is the state? Where are the forces? It comes back to what I have been singing. There is no peace bullet except a peace bullet is yet to be manufactured, and that the government opted for the military option, gave them that failed mark I just mentioned. It will not work. It never worked yesterday. It is not working today. It will not work tomorrow. The government knows what to do. Let's sit and talk. It's as simple as that. This war shall end where it ought to have started. It was the round.
I want to briefly. I just want to ask you this question. Anglophone said they were the people from the northwest and southwest region. I don't like using the word Anglophone. The people from the northwest.
Or you say Southern Cameroonians.
Or Southern Cameroonians. I don't want to use the word Anglophone because we have been divided. And Anglophones still go to the colonial heritage because we are.
And Anglophones are even becoming more divided within themselves now than the Francophones.
So I just want to stay by the northwest and southwest region. Says they have been marginalized by the people of the east region. Eastern part of Cameroon. Now, I want us to do this another mathematics. Let's say in the next 6 years to come, the entrance exams into government offices, what is locally called in French concours, will be launched. Now, our kids have not been in school for 7 years. Are we not preparing more ground for marginalization, in which, like 2015, we had a bit of percentages of our kids who were entering to this entrance exam? Now they are not totally going to school. Let's take the context of that. They are not totally going to school. In the days ahead, if these concours are being given, a child who is 14 years will be 20-something years unable to go to school.
If things continue the way they are, if by 2016 we were just 30% marginalized, by the time we will open our eyes to start remapping the struggle, will be marginalized 70%? That's a very good question. Because one, where we are today, when those children who have not gone to school for 7 years, who were supposed to be picking up jobs, they will not have that opportunity because the certificates will not come from heaven. But on the other side, when you talk to them, they ask you who went to school for the past 20 years, which job did La République give you? That is their version. Now, when you get back to the government tells you that job or no job, go to school. Doors shall get open one day. But I opt that you should go to school. I'm talking about a personal note. Go to school. Don't have the job. Have the way, have the means to fight that marginalization. Because if you don't go to school, they're gone. Cannot bridge the gap.
There was marginalization, but to a certain level, some
we all agree.
We're being absorbed.
We all agree.
No school had been absorbed.
We were not only marginalized. We were even called second-class citizens. Yes, we accepted. We managed to live with it. We were even called dogs and cats. We managed to live with it. What we are saying, Tah Mah Jarvis, is that I don't refuse them fighting. If they like, fight till thy kingdom come. Fight! But let the children not be taken as bait for the fighting. I underline it. Let the children not be taken as the bait for the fighting. Okay. Fight, fight very well. Fight till thy kingdom come. But let the children who are innocent.
Nick, I will come back to you, innocent. Nick, I want to ask you the same question. Yes, granted that there was marginalization, as Innocent said, 2015, 2014. But there was a certain percentage of absorption of Anglophone of the people of Northwest and Southwest region in public service, into public service. There were certain percentages. Now they have said that we should not go to school. For 6 or 7 years now, there is no schooling. It means that the 30% absorption of the public service that we used to enjoy as of 2015, we are not going to have up to 1% because we are not even going to school. And if we continue for 10 years, who is the loser here? More of the loser. And how far, let's say a child is 17 years as of the crisis, you add 7 years now, the child should be about 20-something years. That child will go back to from 1, from 2, from 3. In 30 years, the child go back from 3. And what will happen within that transitional period where they need people to offer some basic services?
Yeah, we cannot completely say we are not going to school. Of course, a greater percentage is going to school.
No, under the context of no going to school. The context is not the percentage. Those who are going to school they have been termed black leg. You are seeing that those who are going to school in Northern and South region have been termed black leg. We are looking at the situation of not going to school.
Yeah, obviously in every revolution, all those kind of things will happen. It's a kind of collateral damage to any political fight. In South Africa, even up to today, they're still witnessing that gap that do not go to school.
And that is what violence, that's why it is violence now. That's why an illiterate who will see a medical doctor from Cameroon or Nigeria as the person has taken his job. Should we prepare for that kind of situation?
Obviously, it is an unfortunate situation. Those who are giving those orders are not seeing the future. Maybe they are also planting their own seed of discord tomorrow. They are not... instead of bringing a lasting solution to this bad seed that have been planted to lead us to where we are today, they are instead, in order to so-called claim that are fighting, planting more evil seeds by saying that people should not go to school. I think the so-called separatist leaders are the most, if you have studied their rhetoric, you see that are the most kind of confused people. They don't actually know what they want. They are filled with greed. They are not different from the so-called people who are fighting, they are fighting against. They are even proving to be more worse than even the government they are claiming to fight. Within their ranks, you don't see any coordination, any unity, and so on. So at one point in time, you may even be doubt to say that the government was right, to say they don't know who to dialogue with or whatever. Because this group will come up and say this one is black leg, this one has been bought over. This one will accuse accusation and counter-accusation. At the end of the day, the common man is the one suffering. So I think that kind of revolution can never succeed. It can never go anywhere. So I think those who are within the ranks of the separatists giving these orders should come back and re-evaluate themselves and see whether they really merit to be what they call themselves leaders. They are not leaders. They are just confusionists because their actions are causing harm on ground. Stopping people, if you see them so much insisting that people should not go to school, it's like they're still going back to 2016, 2017, where they were using school as a bait of the fight. So they were using so that people will not go to school, it would be like calling international attention. I think within 5-6 years, they should have learned that the international community is not interested in that. That cannot be used as a point. The international community is not even interested in the number of people that are being killed. Because if they were really interested, the number of people they have killed would have been enough for them to have a say, to not to have an intervention, but to have a say in this issue. So if you are fighting, they say he who fights and run away lives to fight another day. You must not fight and win. You fight and re-strategize. But if you look at these guys that are just confused and then causing confusion, at the end of the day, you don't even know where we're going. That's why I talk of divine intervention. Because on the side of the government, they are not helping matters. The government is just using more divide and rule tactics within their ranks, infiltrating their ranks with that division, so as to cause more confusion, and then so as to justify herself not to have a reason to negotiate or to dialogue and bring a lasting peace or lasting solution to this problem. So the government in itself is not sincere. At the end of the day, the government will still be held accountable because they are the ones who are legitimate in this situation. So whatever happens, the government officials who are in place in these places are the ones to be held accountable. If not today, if not tomorrow, even if it is in eternity, they will still be held accountable.
Innocent Barozil, you wanted to react to what Ndiwum was saying there. Once your reaction, I'll get to Ndiwum to look at the incident in Bamenda where flags were distributed. That will be our second topic, as well as the kidnapping of the chiefs in Fundong. Also, you wanted to react on this.
See, the truth is that, sincerely, from what I've experienced in this Francophone region, in this Douala, Anglophones have never been marginalized by Francophones or by the administration, which is mostly headed by Francophones. Those who marginalize Anglophones are Anglophones. That is the gospel truth. Live here and go to Yaoundé. When you go to an office where an Anglophone is there, the guy will not speak. You are speaking English. The person will tell you in a compound part. It's an Anglophone. The person will tell you he or she is not understanding. But you go to a Francophone, and if the Francophone doesn't know that you cannot speak French, the guy will struggle. Because when I was in school, I went to Bafusa. I could not speak French by then. But they had to call for another person. In short, the guy was an accountant in a bank to come to the manager's office so I would speak the person, the guy would listen, and all of them, they were Francophones. If you look here in this Douala, just meet somebody an Anglophone. If you speak in English, the person will tell you that I don't understand. Anglophones have always been marginalized by Anglophones. That's the truth. The truth is that, forget it, this crisis will take long. It will take a very long time. And the government, which is mostly headed by Francophones, they are not bought. Why? Because we are killing ourselves. Anglophones are killing the Anglophones. If they don't go to school, what is the problem? Like, where at times the president will just wake up and say 10,000 or 25,000 recruitment. When Anglophones are not there, whose problem is that? And these Anglophones brothers, they don't want a progress. They don't want that this crisis should end. Because they know what they are benefiting. And they themselves, they know it very well. Those people that you hear minister, this minister, that, those are the real problem. Those are the very people that are making this crisis to last. The guys that were supposed to tell the president the truth, they are the ones that, I say, so we and the ones are the ones marginalizing ourselves. I just like yourself. In Anglophone, the prime minister is an Anglophone. The minister of the administration is an Anglophone.
Secondary education.
The secondary education is an Anglophone.
And also we have Portas on who is the head of country.
Also a minister.
All those people you are counting are people. What is
But now, let me learn.
There are different categories of Anglophone.
Let me learn.
Those are better Anglophones.
Mr. Jarvis, let me tell you something. Before I was born, there was a particular man. That guy was a Bangwa man. He was a chief superintendent of water in Yaoundé. In those days of Ahijo. In those days, he put many Bangwa people in water. Many Lebian people in water. In those days, just as superintendent, a prime minister has the right. He can make Anglophones to have a job. That minister of international administration, he can make Anglophones to have a job.
Is he a prime minister for Cameroon or for Anglophone?
Thank you. But I want to say, let me tell you the way see what you don't know is that when they put you a prime minister, let me ask you, me, I'm from the BLM, from a particular village. If they put me a minister, so you expect that probably should be the one to come and help my country people. He's putting you there to help your
that's tribal politics that we are struggling to take. No, that's tribal politics.
Just one second.
Yes.
Please, I want to think that we should not derail. We should not be fighting something that goes and at the same time. Look, we should be talking about a level playing ground, Mr. Innocent.
Social economic justice.
We should not be talking about a Bangwa man. I know of a prime minister in this country, the man Philemon Yang. Philemon Yang was a prime minister and he did little or nothing to his Oku. Even the road, he did absolutely nothing. I'm saying it and he's watching. He did nothing to Oku. But our problem is that as he was not doing for Oku, he was not equally doing for other parts of the country. Social and economic justice is what we should be vying for, my brother. Not that because you come from Bangwa, Bangwa people should feel.
Thank you.
Because the fact that you come from Bangwa does not automatically make the Bangwa people to be more qualified.
Because when you go to the hospital, you don't care to ask the origin of the doctor.
The doctor.
You just know that, okay.
You are going for treatment.
But
Okay.
Cameroon, there is regional balance. In Cameroon, there is regional balance in every concours. There is regional balance.
Briefly.
Which is not even a good thing.
This
Which
is
is
not
not even
yeah,
a work. The fact that there's regional balance.
Regional balance. What you will bear with us that what caused the Anglophone crisis is because of this regional issue.
Yes.
Because we Anglophone feel like a lot of things are going to somewhere else. If there is social and economic justice for all, everyone will be okay. Because when I get to the hospital, I don't care to know who the doctor is.
Yeah.
When I get to the bank, I don't care to know who the.
When you go to the
when I get to the school, I don't care to know who the.
Mr. Jarvis, when you go to Rome, do what the Romans do.
No, but we are in Cameroon.
That's what I'm trying to say.
We should look at social and economic justice.
Not in Africa, there is what would you understand that I can hold in Europe, but not in Africa.
Thank you.
It doesn't hold in Africa.
G. Lucas, are you there with us?
Yes, I want to say that according to the International Convention on Economic and Social and Cultural Rights, I just want the viewers and for those who are celebrating things that are not right to understand that it says it very clear that all people have the right of self-determination by virtue of their right. They freely determine their political status and freely pursue their economic, social, and cultural development. Now, I want the viewers and I want for those who see these things to take it lightly. I am dwelling so much on this because for some time now, we have been talking about self-determination, which is leading to the killings we're having on the ground. The situation that happened in Ekuna, the situation that we watched, I think.
We are having problems with network. Network is having a problem. I don't know. We'll get back to Nji Lucas. Ndiwum Emmanuel, the governor of the Northwest region, Adolf Lele Lafrique, distributed flags to school-going children who were not in their uniform. Just at the point in time where we are clamoring for school resumption, politics is being brought into the picture. Should we not keep politics out of schools? And is the government, second question to you, is the government doubting the patriotism of these same children who sing Shepati, Tertiary?
Don't even bother yourself.
Is the government not doubting
you see,
patriotism?
those are signs of a failed state.
But Cameroon is not a failed state now.
I said those are the signs of a failed state. Somewhere, somebody said it is ridiculous to film children in class to prove a wrong point. And I buy that idea. To prove a wrong point because it is absolutely the right of those children to be in that class. Now, to force a flag into the hands of a school-going kid is proving a wrong point because that flag, first of all, is part and parcel of every Cameroonian. It's a national emblem of the state that must be respected. Okay, that tells you why even some of these governors, the ministers, the DJs, they cannot even sing the national anthem. That's a fact. If you move to them, most of them cannot sing the national anthem. And that tells you that as they are doubting the patriotism of the citizen, they themselves are the first unpatriotic Cameroonians.
No, but we have seen start singing the anthem now.
When we were growing up in the days of our primary school, it was forbidden for whosoever, even the brigade commander, to drive past when they were hoisting the flag and they were singing the national anthem. I want to tell you that today, if a teacher tells a constable of police that please respect the anthem, you'll be in a cell in the next 30 minutes. You'll be arrested for forcing a Cameroonian to respect a national symbol. That is where we are. And I am saying that a regime that took time to craft out a book of how to fail Cameroon is actually succeeding in failing Cameroon.
But they have crafted out the book of how to fail Cameroon. We have Vision 2035.
Tah Mah Jarvis. Can I speak?
Yeah, of course you speak. Can
I speak?
Yes, I just want to
Don't bring in Nanga
Mboku.
And today, we still ration electricity. Do you know that we have limping electricity? It beeps and goes. Where I come from, do you know why I should start saying?
Bigger roads have been constructed at the Douala Boya Road.
In Northwest and Southwest, people actually go down on their knees to see electricity. They jubilate as if it was another coming of Jesus Christ when they see electricity. Talk less of the economic hub of Cameroon, which is Douala. Now, coming back to your question, I want to think God has a way of exposing people. God has used the governor of Northwest region to expose the government of Cameroon once more to tell the world that, look, we keep forcing these children to go to school. These are the few ones we have managed this year to get them go to school. God is not a fool. I have been saying this and I will repeat again today. Cameroon government has been playing with the lives of Cameroonians for a very long time. But what I want to say is, as Yaoundé has the watch, God has the time.
Okay, and now the issue in Fundong, where chiefs have been kidnapped. Even as you speak, I will still take up the topic of the fund of Bambalang. Because the fund of Bambalang, who is the president of the Northwest House of Funds, we have not even heard that house. Yes. That house of fund talk about the fund of Bambalang. Now the funds and chiefs have been kidnapped in Boyo because they are charged and accused of aiding and abetting school resumption. That's their crime.
Tah Mah Jarvis, this one happens directly where I come from. That's why it's shocking me because I have the whole information. Maybe I cannot open it here all bed. I want to say that trust this regime at your maximum risk. Look, this regime will tell you that chiefs, go out there, make sure children go to school. Remember the governor of Southwest region at one point who forced the chiefs to march like kindergarten babies. After marching, at the time that you are marching, you are for the republic, you are a patriotic citizen. But after march past, you are on your own.
Yeah, that is it.
You are on your own. And then coming back to the case of Fundong, as a bona fide son of this area, I say it and I assume it. I am reclaiming for the release of these chiefs with immediate effect. I know one of them, one of these chiefs, and I applaud your courage, I will not call your name, to have told the separatists that putting your leg on my chest, telling me that you will kill me if I insist, kill me. I will not be the first, I will not be the last. We are behind you. And if anything happens to these chiefs, we have been saying it. We know some of these Amber guys, we know their hideouts, we also know your families. We are not threatening you, we are calling you to come to reason.
Well, I cannot say you know their hideout because the government has been looking for them.
Has the government ever told you that they don't know where they are? I have been to Fundong on several counts. I have spoken with the military men. They are even the ones cautioning me that, Emmanuel, don't go to Abu, don't go to Ngwa, don't go to... What
so they know them? Then why
I said the government knows where they are. If you go to Fundong, the military will tell you that, young man, don't go to so and so, it's dangerous. Look, yesterday, the military was in Ngwa on 2 different occasions and could not succeed to release these people. And then you are asking me whether the government don't know. The government know. They went there and they could not arrive the real point. And the information is that when the military is coming and the boys are bracing up for the shooting, they take those who are in hostage to further areas in the bushes. And it makes the issue more complicated for the military. So as we speak,
so you are calling for the immediate release?
They should be released. They should be released.
Without any precondition?
No precondition. And I want to think, Governor Lele Lafrique, if the worst should come to the worst, you will need to visit this camp in Fundong. We know the camps. You are the man in command. We were told that you are the man in command of Northwest. This is the time. Show us that command. These people need to be liberated because you people ask them to ask the children to go to school.
And they were doing just
And
that.
they were doing just
Is
that.
this a crime for a chief to
Provide their security so that they should be with you, during you, and after you, and their security will be guaranteed. Because asking the children to go to school was not a crime. And if asking it made them to become criminals, taken by other criminals in hostage, go for them and make sure that they are released. I want to appeal to the brigade commander of Fundong and the company commander whom I have met. They are actually good people. They should do everything within their command, Tah Mah Jarvis, to release these people. These people committed no crime. They have decided to remain in that place, not to become refugees and fugitives like those criminals who call themselves politicians, who have disappeared. They have deserted the whole place. As I talk to you, how many Fundong politicians are back in Boyo? They are all hiding here in Douala. They are listening. I know you will come to the forums to write to say that I am telling you people. I am saying it to free my people. If you know you are a politician and you are voted by your people, go back to Boyo. Contribute to those people to be free. We will not fight the fight alone.
Thank you very much. We are showing you out of time. Briefly, your reaction to the chiefs that till now, the fall of Bambalang, we have not heard anything from him. We are counting, and we have been hammering that on House of Commons. The same mechanism, special forces that were used to free our mother, Regina Mundi. Should the government not still send the same special forces to free the chief of the fall of Bambalang?
Special forces and special money also.
No, special forces. I don't want to go into the nitty-gritty. We have well-trained security forces that can handle this situation.
Yeah, but sometimes it is very difficult to free hostages because at one point you are looking at the life of the person you are going to free so that there should not be collateral damage. I think even the capture of the president of the regional house of chief in the northwest, that's the fund of Bambalang, and that particular house being silent up to now, it means they know where he is. That's simply what they're telling us. Their silencing, I think that was in the month of March, up to now. This should be going to about 6 months. And no news, we've not heard anything from that house. We've not heard anything, where he's whereabouts, whether he's alive or he's not alive. The silence of the house simply means they know where they are. If they don't know where he is, they should simply tell us.
Okay.
So the kingdom of these other chiefs in Fundong, don't expect anything from the Northwest House of Chiefs. Don't expect anything from them. Because they are fond of being silent in such situations.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, we are left on our own. And then the issue of the governor forcing flags on children, these kind of things are not strange. If you go to the Northwest and Southwest region, you'll see that the psychology of all the administrators there and the military and the rest, everybody is assumed to be an amber until proven innocent. That's their psychology. Everybody is looked at as an amber.
Okay.
Until you are proven innocent.
Okay.
That's how they assume. So forcing children to hold flag as a sign of patriotism to me is just...
Is the government doubting their patriotism?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. That's why I'm saying that to the government, the psychology is that all these people are amber. And then let us make them to be Cameroonians by giving them flags. Yeah.
Thank you very much. What happened along the Kumba Boya Road axis is so bad. We need peace to return in our country. For younger generations should be allowed them to go to school freely so that our future generation will not be left out of their own school. Thank you very much. Coming from an anonymous sender, this one I read, it says it's coming from Peter in Tico. Peter says, good afternoon, Jarvis and crew. We condemn killing and for how long? But before 2016, we have not such killing, and schools were effectively going on. Those in charge should solve the problem. This is Peter from Tico. This on right. He says, good afternoon, panelists. Ambazonia war is a cause to it. Like Padi Asanga said, it is intimated Boko Haram and Amazonian militia are the only two militias terrorist groups in the world that attack school in the world that attack school children. So this is coming from Eugene in Kumba. This one it is a good afternoon. The Amazonians are really crazy. I have abandoned I have abandoned my that I am black leg, my job that I am a black leg. This other one, it says, good afternoon to you all in the studio. House of Commonness in Bar. My question to the Amazonian leaders is, which country do they want to create if children are not going to school? Country of illiterate like us all think. This other one read, it says, good afternoon, Jarvis, Ndiwum Emmanuel and other panelists. The situation on the ground is very complicated. The no state forces say no to government schools, and the state say no to community schools. They say no to national anthem, but the government says they must sing it. So it no uniform. But we should also, the two groups continue to put the lives of children at risk. This is coming from Eric Income. Eric, thank you for writing us Income. This one says the best way to solve the problem because the armory are dressed like the military are dressed like civilian and the boys dressed like the military. Back to school is not secure. This other read, it says, good afternoon to you in the studio. What happened along the Kumbaha axis is so bad. We need peace to return. All one is peace in the southwest region. This one reads, says, Ndiwum Emmanuel should find out why chiefs were adopted before condemning, before demanding their release. Ndiwum Emmanuel just told you that he is from Fundong and has given you the detail as to why he thinks that the chiefs were kidnapped. And so you cannot know the area more than Ndiwum, who is a son of that area. Sir Emmanuel, you speak sense. The problem is that the government in Yaoundé and I can tell you is completely different from the news in the northwest and the southwest region. What is happening to those? Thank you very much. All those of you who have sent us your messages, we will read them. Because of time constraint, we don't have enough time to read them. This one reads, good afternoon. This is Davison from Oyoka. Good afternoon. It's unfortunate that we decry the consequence of the problem, which must be resolved. If not, we'll just be talking and talking. Davison from Muyuka. This one reads, Mr. good afternoon to the panelists, most especially to Mr. Emmanuel. No war is good. We are prey to human. We lost it all. This one reads, it says, good afternoon, everyone in the studio. Please, while you are writing us, be shorter. This is coming. Good afternoon to everyone in the studio. For example, one of your panelists, Apostle Ambe, said the crisis is now the only 9 region against the Northwest region. That causes the Amber Ignite action. It's always indicated that the actions, however, is just non-existent. The message is too long. So we have a lot of messages coming in. This one reads, says, good afternoon to you in the studio. Nice program. I'm happy to listen to what G. Lucas and also all the panelists are saying. Thank you very much. Please, Jarvis, who brought not helping the matters in any way, causing more confusion, problem. Thank you very much. This is Bila, thank you. We got your message. We are out of time. We want to thank all those of you who have been participating. Last week, Sunday, the House of Commons team successfully donated books and some didactic materials to more than 20 internally displaced persons in Bonnerberry. We want to thank all those of you who contributed, who sent in your contribution via our mobile money number, which is on your screen. We want to thank you so much for your contribution. We donated books and didactic materials, as well as we gave scholarship to 2 children whom we paid their fees, and also we getting them registration for their common entrance and first school examination. We also received calls from Fundong and some other parts of the restive region where students were begging us to send them some didactic materials that they really want to go to school. They too don't have didactic material, and someone asked that, please, why do we only concentrate in Douala? What of them in Ground Zero that need these materials to go to school? If you are watching us and you want to help them, please do so. We will be happy with you to put smile on those who want to go to school and to also assist them in a way in which we can. You can contact us on the number. Maybe you have books you want to share, you want to give them, you have uniforms you want to give to any intended displaced or those who are in the restive region who want to go to school. You want to pay their fee, we can give you names of children. You pay directly to their parents and help them to go to school. If you want to be a panelist, you want to join us to discuss on burning issues, you can contact me on the numbers on your screen. I will include you into our WhatsApp group where we leave the conversation going. Ndiwum Emmanuel, thank you for coming.
Yes, it's a song that I want to leave you with these words. Albert Einstein put it clear: the world shall not be destroyed by those who did evil, but it shall be destroyed by those who watch.
Who are quiet when evil is being committed.
Who were quiet when evil was being committed. So I want to greet Song Derek fervently, who is part of us and he has been watching from beginning to the end. Happy Sunday to you.
Thank you, Innocent, for coming. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Jarvis. I just wish to say that my fellow panelists said that we should pray. To me, this is why Africa is where it is. So
we're out of time.
We should act. We should act rather than pray.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming, Nick.
Thank you, Tah Mah Jarvis. Wish to see you subsequently, our viewers. Thanks for your loyalty, for watching us to the end. Thank you.
Thank you for all those who contributed for the program, send your SMSs, and also for our WhatsApp contact. Thank you, G. Lucas, for coming.
I want to thank you very much, Jarvis, for the program. I just wish to end the program by saying that we should not forget that every state has a responsibility to provide education for its citizens. Now, according to the rights which are enshrined in this, the state has a responsibility to provide education and in different contexts. And I want to say that the context in which we find ourselves today may not be the same.
Thank you.
It is the reason why Habit is also in support of those who want to go to school, because these are contexts which the state cannot fully take it and duly take it the way it should be, because we have exceptional, and these are the exceptions. I want to say that
we're out of time.
We are also offering a space for IDPs, those who are not fortunate to go to school, to why not take the opportunity and get the education that they deserve. I think it's been a wonderful program. I would have loved to say more, but time could not permit us. Thank you.
Thank you for watching, and I leave you with this. No matter the matter, what matters is your matter. No matter the matter, what matters is your matter. And what should matter for you is that school is a good thing. Let the children get back to school. My name is Tah Mah Jarvis from Cameroon's economic capital, Douala. Fengu Dong, Bange Bonamusadi.